UFC 293, Adesanya versus Strickland. This is the MMA Casuals Guide. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it, starting with the main event, Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. Let's begin with the current middleweight champion, the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. Izzy is one of the biggest stars in the entire UFC. He regained his middleweight world championship last time out by defeating his longtime foe Alex Pereira by knockout back in Miami at UFC 287 in April. Adesanya is a flashy striker who comes with a background in kickboxing. The New Zealand native is fighting in Australia for the first time in a long time and has promised a violent knockout this weekend. Originally, Izzy was slated to face South Africa's Dricus du Plessis, who said he couldn't make this date due to injury. Adesanya and du Plessis got into a messy altercation at UFC 290, which had fans excited about the potential matchup. Izzy has been hinting at giving the next title shot after this one to a few people and having Dricus essentially climb the ladder once again. Either way, before we cross that bridge, Adesanya needs to get through the challenge at hand, and that challenge is the American Sean Strickland. The absolute madman Sean Strickland is absolutely insane. I don't say that lightly. There is definitely a couple screws in his head that are loose, but he is entertaining as hell. Sean Strickland is probably more known for his wild takes and no filter on his mouth than he is for fighting. Strickland's style is very unique though when he fights. He walks forward with his hands high and he peppers his opponents with a non-stop barrage of punches. He doesn't necessarily have one-shot power, but he does have a motor that never stops. Rumor has it that Sean Strickland has world-class wrestling, but it's something that we've rarely seen in the octagon. Strickland looks to make the most of this opportunity and win himself a world title. Before the main event, we will of course see the co-main event, and this one is sure to not disappoint, as fan favorite Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa takes on the Russian top 10 mainstay Alexander Volkov. Let's start with the red corner. Let's start with Tai Tuivasa. Since the pandemic boom, I don't think anyone in the UFC has blown up in popularity more than Western Sydney's own Tai Tuivasa. The heavyweight brawler is coming off of back-to-back KO losses and needs a win here pretty damn badly. Tuivasa has huge KO power, but his personality is probably more entertaining than his fights are, even though his fights are entertaining. He walks out to songs like Barbie Girl, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and Wannabe by the Spice Girls, and then after his fights, he's known to indulge in a few beers and a couple shoeies, which is where he basically asks a fan in the crowd for their shoe and he chugs a beer out of it. Tuivasa fights are always fun, and I expect this one to deliver because he is facing a tough veteran and the Russian contender, Alexander Drago Volkov. Alexander Volkov is a very tall heavyweight. He's a very well-rounded fighter as well. He remains very calm, but he knows when to turn it up when he's looking for that finish. Volkov has an underrated resume in my opinion. He has wins over guys like Fabricio Verdum, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Marcin Tybura, Roy Nelson, and many more. It's sad, but Alexander Volkov is probably best known for being the guy that Derek Lewis knocked out before that infamous speech. That was the "my balls was hot" interview. This fight, guys, is going to be very dangerous for as long as it lasts. Both of these big boys could finish the fight at any moment. Other fights and fighters you have to know about on this card. In the feature fight, we will see the top 10 flyweight, the Angolan-born Portuguese fighter Manel Kape, whose nickname is Starboy. He is a former Rizin world champion. He has a flashy striking style, and he is extremely dangerous. He was supposed to be facing the Australian Kai Kara France, who pulled out due to injury. However, now he is taking on the debuting, undefeated shoot-the-box fighter Felipe Dos Santos on very short notice. Dos Santos was supposed to fight on the Contender Series a week or two ago, and now he finds himself fighting a top 10 fighter in the UFC. Welcome to the UFC. We will see a rematch between two heavyweights as former NFL player Austin Lane takes on the hometown striker Justin Tafa. Their first fight a few months back ended in the first round due to an accidental eye poke, so this rematch should be exciting. We will also see the Swedish pleasure man, Anton Turkalj. He will be facing yet another Sydney fighter in the black belt, Tyson Pedro. We're also going to see Carlos Blackjack Ulberg taking on Un Jung. We're going to see Jack Jenkins versus Chepe Mariscal. Jamie Malarkey, the veteran, is back at home. And of course, we will see Mike Mathetha, better known as Blood Diamond. Guys, we're going to see a ton of fun fights. UFC 293 Adesanya versus Strickland takes place this Saturday, September the 9th in Sydney, Australia, and it should be an absolute banger. If you enjoyed the content, we would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. Guys, I'm Dino Bam Bam with the 107MMA. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.